Hi and welcome to Indigo Starfire. My name is Bevin, and in this reading I'm going to be doing a channeled love letter from your person. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the clear quartz, along with this letter. Group 2 is the obsidian, along with this letter. And group 3 is the fluorite, along with this letter. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling cards in between groups to clear the energy of the group I've just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the clear quartz, along with this letter, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot to get kind of a general overview of where this person's at right now in their life in terms of the connection, just whatever comes through. Okay, so we have the Eight of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. The Emperor, which is Aries. The Magician, which is Gemini. The Chariot, which is Cancer. Six of Pentacles, which is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. And Ace of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So it looks like this person may be in kind of a season of abundance for themselves, something that they had been invested in as far as work, finances, success in the material world. They have really manifested something that is sustaining for them. This can be some kind of a promotion, some kind of a business that they had been working toward, maybe schooling that they had been undertaking, and they've reached a point where they're starting to maybe have some opportunities for internship. Maybe they've graduated and have moved off into a career, some kind of a major shift or pivot, maybe even a possible promotion or relocation that may be a possibility, something that they have worked toward that is either coming in for them or that they have just recently sort of stepped into. So it is a season of abundance where they have taken on more responsibility. They're feeling very much in control of their current environment in terms of material and finances. But with this Eight of Swords, it's bringing forth the message in conjunction with this Emperor of heavy is the head that wears the crown. So they're almost feeling very trapped by their material success. With this Ace of Cups, it's like they have a lot going for them in different ways, in kind of these tangible ways, mundane ways. On paper, everything looks good, but there's almost like this lack or this deficit or void when it comes to true emotional satisfaction. It feels to be almost like a kind of a haunting or stark reality that they're being faced with at this point in time, as far as choices that they had made in the past to invest in a certain career path, to make certain priorities and sacrifices in their world that have paid off richly, but at the same time, now that they have kind of reached some kind of a pinnacle, some sort of a plateau where things have shifted and maybe they're not as busy, they're not as stressed out, or they're able to kind of navigate or manage these new surroundings or this world they've created for themselves better. It's like they're looking around and they're almost lacking this deep companionship, even if they have a lot of friends around them, a lot of people congratulating them on their success. It almost feels that they feel very much alone in a crowded room at this point in time. That sort of these creature comforts are not really filling or addressing very adequately this void within themselves on an emotional level, at the soul level, at a spiritual level that they had maybe not even appreciated before. It had taken sort of investing in a certain course of action, going down a particular path, reaching that pinnacle of success, or actively moving toward that, having really made some substantial progress in that direction that is causing them to almost reevaluate their priorities, to shift their focus, and almost like leaning in energetically, or starting to recognize the importance of what they had maybe left behind or had deemed not as important, not as kind of crucial to their sense of self or sense of fulfillment. That can relate to, just kind of emotional satisfaction in general. That can relate to this connection. That can relate even to the company that they're keeping, where maybe people are just kind of meeting them on that level of like the surface resonance, but there's this lack of kind of deep camaraderie. There's a lack of people that maybe are truly having their best interests in mind. It's almost like they've got a lot of people that are just sort of in their court or in their corner right now, that they sense they have reached this kind of level of success in some manner. They're starting to really understand and sort of see kind of the purpose and the depth, or rather the limitation of the company that they are keeping. And so it's making them very lonely. It's making them start to crave partnership, crave deep intimacy on an emotional and spiritual level. It feels to be almost like this loneliness, that as they have a lot going on, to celebrate, a lot of things to be proud of, a lot of accomplishments that they have really achieved, that their investments, their time and effort has paid off richly. It's a sense of not really, having anyone to truly celebrate with, that kind of like it's lonely at the top is sort of the feeling with this. Again, that heavy is the head that wears the crown seems to be kind of the overarching theme right now. And so it's causing them to want to start to look at or prioritize or to examine or to begin almost the quest of how to invest now in this area of themselves that they are almost at this deficit at, where they are maybe lacking in strength, they're lacking in experience, these aspects of emotions. It's something that they're not finding that around them. They may be aware that the company that they're keeping, friends, colleagues, even romantic entanglements that they may be in, that these are just very surface level. It's all based on kind of this person's position in life, what they have gained, what they can give to others, but that there's almost a lack of them being seen, recognized, and valued for who they are, which they're starting to really understand is the result of them not prioritizing and taking the time to figure out and to really nurture those same qualities within them, that they've been operating on the surface level, and therefore they've attracted in sort of like surface level situations, things that really are just reflective of their priorities in the past, feeling at a loss, feeling very lonely, feeling almost that they have left something behind in whatever decision was made to go down a particular path, to invest in a certain something, to try to build and acquire and achieve. And now that they've done that, and they've reached those goals, it's almost the sense of something very important has been left undone. And they're looking around and almost not really being sure how to retrace their steps, or feeling that whatever they have worked toward manifesting, it's just not as satisfying as they thought that it might have been. And yet they feel very trapped in this wheel of success, this web of success, and responsibility that they've created for themselves, desiring a partner, desiring somebody who could really support them, not so much in a material sense, but more in an emotional and a spiritual sense. But as they're looking around their environment at this point in time, it's almost like a cold reality of what they are seeing, and the suspicion that they have that if the chips were down, a lot of the present company that they are keeping would very quickly flee from them, or would kind of leave them in their darkest hour. And so it feels that it's also causing them to reflect to some degree on the situation with you, on the connection, on what was lost or what was sacrificed in the past, in favor of whatever they had chosen to pursue, maybe remaining very unattached, opting for more surface level connections, things that didn't challenge or awaken them at the heart level, but really just sort of fit the ego needs and requirements, and again, looked very good on paper. And now that they have kind of been sitting in this, they have manifested kind of the full reality of what life on that vibration looks like. It's very much a lonely at the top kind of vibe here, as far as this person is sitting in right now, but not really being sure how to retrace their steps, where to go from here, how to kind of call in or cultivate that deep emotional satisfaction that they're really craving for at this time. So I'm going to read the channeled love letter from their higher self, and let's see, what does your person want you to know right now, group 1? The heavenly sugar of your energetic scent sustains me in these days of change. I look about at the kingdom I have constructed and feel the vacancy of your complementary presence by my side. It has taken this view from the top to see precisely what is missing. The cityscape is a dull replacement for the lush wilderness the experience of you represents. It's hard for me to admit the error of my choices when I once was so certain. I know without question, if given the chance to turn back the clock, I would have pressed past the clutter of obstacles and unearthed the continuity of our love in all of the ways which were previously denied. I have led myself astray, and now I must find a way to course correct if I am to ever declare the profound affection I still hold for you, which has been my most constant companion through this journey. You represent the uncharted territory I had given up as simply the product of myth and fable. I want to rise beyond all of this mundane stagnancy and explore the frontiers of love with you, to be brave finally, and extinguish the coward who was too proud to be humbled and revived by your love. I bring to you emptied hands and openness to what might culminate from my gesture and your forgiveness. I was once so headstrong. I see now you have so much to teach me about the beauty of love, and that through you, the poverty of my worldly opulence may yet transmute to the true wealth of soul. So I'm going to close this reading with some initials, and this can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got N, M, C, F, T, R, L, and I. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter, group 1. I hope that everything resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. Again, I offer a variety of personalized video and written readings, as well as channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. And now through the end of the month of February, I'm running a sale in my Etsy shop. Everything is 15% off. So if you have been considering getting something, a reading, or a piece of jewelry or dream catcher, now would be a good time to act upon that, as I don't often run sales. I've also launched a second channel here on YouTube. It's called Lady of the Dawn Tarot, and there's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format there is a little different from here. I do pick-a-cards as well as general energy check-ins, but the subject matters that I cover are related to spirituality, wellness, ascension, and self-love. So if any of that sounds interesting, I invite you to check that channel out. I thank you for your support there, as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the Obsidian along with this letter, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot to get kind of a general overview of where this person's at right now, energetically in their life and in terms of the connection. Okay, so we have the Emperor, which is Aries, 5 of Pentacles, which is Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, 8 of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, Queen of Pentacles, so more Earth energy, the High Priestess, which is Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, and the Chariot, which is Cancer. So this is pretty interesting. We've got 3 repeat cards here. The Emperor, the Chariot, and the 8 of Swords all turned up in group 1. So if you felt inclined to watch that group, you may want to do so. There could be additional messages there for you. But it feels like a very similar kind of energy to what was coming through in terms of somebody who has manifested for themselves kind of a life that they thought would be very satisfying, a choice that they'd made, something that they at one point in time had been very comfortable in, that is now sort of a struggle to remain poised or stationed within this particular type of life. It's a feeling of loneliness, a feeling of lack. They may have actually, kind of in contrast to sort of what was coming through with group one, in this energy, it almost feels more like this person's fortunes are sort of diminishing in some kind of manner. This may be the result of kind of a prolonged period of having really attained or achieved some level of success for themselves, but this not necessarily resonating with authentically, truly what sets their soul on fire, what their heart wants. That this is kind of the result of investing in illusions, in investing in maybe tendencies toward codependency, people-pleasing, following down a path that others had prescribed for them, maybe what society had determined or that they had interpreted was sort of expected of them. This could be falling in line with family's expectations, trying to kind of keep up with the Joneses or make everything look very good on paper, and somebody who's really just been kind of suffering in silence through all of this. They're trying very hard to kind of put on a brave face, but it feels like there are also sort of plans that are being secretly made to shift their circumstances in some manner, a desire to change, a desire to evolve and move forward, maybe even through some kind of loss, financial loss, for example. This can be a demotion at work. Maybe their hours have been cut, some kind of financial strain upon them. Unexpected expenses, for example, to where once they were very comfortable, there's now almost this added pressure that if they are in a third-party connection, that sort of pressure may be putting strain on that connection. It's revealing a new side of their current partner that they had maybe overlooked, where they are seeing this person really was only kind of invested in this individual for what they could provide, for how that looked on paper. But sort of when the chips are down, when circumstances get a little more difficult, another side of this person, more of a shadowy aspect of this person, is really coming to the forefront. It's giving this individual a new kind of vantage point as far as what they've been investing in, the quality, the character of people that they were dealing with. If this isn't another romantic partner, this can even be friends, people that they thought really had their back in some manner, that now that, and may have turned to this person for assistance, for support, even just moral support at different points in time. Maybe friends who didn't approve of this connection with you that caused this individual to sort of move in another direction. Even family members who weren't supportive of that or had a very particular idea for a path that this person should be embarking upon, what their priorities should be, that in some way the connection in the past was at odds with. Now that there's been sort of a turn in this person's fortunes, and they're needing to sort of lean upon other people for support, it feels like masks and illusions are really coming off, and they are starting to recognize how the opinions and the energies that they had allowed to sort of influence their life didn't necessarily have their best interests in mind. This is somebody who's wanting to lean into more autonomy for themselves, wanting to make, again, some big changes, maybe even some things that are coming to light that in and of themselves are kind of a rude awakening for this person. They're feeling very trapped in this, very trapped by their choices, by what was kind of left behind, what was lost, sort of what appeared to be the right choice in the past, this idea of like all that glitters kind of energy, that it turned out to be very false, or something that is now in a state of kind of withering or falling away. And so a desire to make action in a different direction, maybe even coming back towards you, course correcting in the situation with you. But it feels like, with these three major arcana energies here of the Chariot, the High Priestess, and the Emperor, this feels like even a larger shift in this person's life in general, a different trajectory they are wanting to engage on, to sort of move and shift in a different direction, financially, professionally, in terms of their living situation, in terms of the company they're keeping, their surroundings, their belief systems, their mindset. They're starting to really see how they've sort of trapped themselves by almost relinquishing their sovereignty to other people, being very concerned with appearances, sort of keeping very secret the true nature of their desires, and what resonated with them, what represented wish fulfillment for them at the soul level, and instead kind of just going with what appeared to be sort of the right choice, or what other people in their life or society in general would approve of as far as a sort of a path for themselves. Now that this energy of struggle has come in, there is this desire to shift, but needing to be very kind of secretive about that, in kind of like a planning stage, a strategy stage, to kind of extract themselves in maybe the most diplomatic way, or with kind of the most minimal cost to themselves financially, or in terms of their stability, to sort of break free from a particular path, or a pattern, or a series of dynamics or relationships that they have been involved in. For some of them, they may actually be at this stage of trying to extract themselves from these circumstances, from these relationships and these dynamics, and it's coming at quite a high cost for them, but it almost feels like something that is a worthwhile investment. It's the price of freedom. It's the price of liberation that in the past may have felt too high for this person to pay, but now they are really starting to follow their own intuition, to do what they need to do in order to kind of shift the direction of their life, to free themselves up from some entanglements, or a version of themselves that they had been presenting to the world that is merely just a shadow or a fragment of this version of them that is inside, wanting to make itself more known in a profound and outward manner. So I'm going to read the channeled love letter from your person's higher self now, and see what do they want to tell you, group 2. You are breathtaking to behold, the love of my dreams standing fully in flesh before me. I remember you from the ancient days, and the pact that we made to never let go endures across the span of time. No matter what has threatened to tear us asunder, we keep rising into even deeper embodiments of love than the lifetimes before. I want to do things right this time. Please forgive me in my methodical process of relearning you, as I remind myself of precisely how you need me to love you. I ache to step beyond this chapter of our story and resume the best part of us in sync like we used to be. This version of you is the one I like the best, and I'm sorry it has taken so much struggle for you to turn this face out into the world. I am smiling now in that faintly sad and hopeful way as I run my mind across the terrain of our braided energy. I love to spend the afternoon deciphering what is yours from what is mine, to imagine how it must tickle you to feel me gently and deliberately running the catacombs of memory and recognition. Can you feel me as I stare with fixed and loving eyes upon the portraiture of you enshrined in my heart? I know these energy games leave you exhausted, and that you are in want of so much more from me. With steady determination, I am peeling myself away from dwelling singularly in this realm of internal recognition, so that I might love you once again in the light of day. So I'm going to close this out with some initials, and this can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got B, P, O, Z, D, A, Q, T, and F. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter, group 2. I hope that everything resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. Again, I offer a variety of channeled letters, written and video readings. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. And now through the end of the month of February, I'm running a sale in my Etsy shop. Everything's marked down 15%. So if you've had your eye on anything, now would be a good time to act upon that, as I don't often run sales. I've also launched a second channel here on YouTube. It's called Lady of the Dawn Tarot, and there's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format there is a little different from here. I do pick-a-cards as well as general energy check-ins, but the subject matters that I cover are related to spirituality, wellness, ascension, and self-love. So if any of that sounds interesting, I invite you to check that channel out. I thank you for your support there as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 3. You chose the Fluorite, along with this letter, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot to get kind of a general overview of where this person's at energetically in their life and in terms of the connection. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. 10 of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. 8 of Wands, so more fire energy. The Empress, which is Taurus and Libra. 6 of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And 3 of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So the Queen of Pentacles did come up in group 2, so if you felt drawn to watch that group, you may want to do so after this one. There could be additional messages there for you. But this is definitely the energy of somebody who is desiring a fresh start, wanting to invest in this connection. These are really mirrored cards right here. The Queen of Pentacles is kind of the minor arcana equivalent of the Empress for me as a reader in a lot of ways. And so it's something where unequivocally they have come to this conclusion that you are a worthwhile investment, something that they regret having walked away from in the past. If a third party situation had been an interference, it feels that this individual's in the process of sort of moving beyond that. They may have even closed out that chapter. This could have even been someone that just wanted to keep their options open, wanted to remain very non-committed, maybe a fear of commitment, got kind of cold feet with you in the past, and it looks like they've evolved in some way into really desiring and prioritizing the stability that they experienced with you, or the potential of that which they recognized in the connection in the past. They're heavily burdened by words that were either spoken or that were not spoken. This recognition, this realization that you hold and embody all of these qualities on many levels that they are looking for in a long-term partnership, this isn't sitting very well with them. Kind of the more time that goes by, the more this kind of ache becomes very acute within them to move back in your direction, as they are kind of running through some cycles, maybe again of being very unattached, having only maybe focused on surface level connections. There's a desire to transcend that. It feels like somebody who's up leveling in some way in terms of standards that they've set for themselves. You represent a raising of these standards. They may be in a period right now of kind of nurturing themselves, healing from some sort of disappointment and heartbreak, maybe even some toxic kind of patterns in their life. Maybe this is someone who is drinking a lot, partying a lot, kind of burning the candle at both ends. And they may have been humbled by something, some kind of news that they had gotten, some kind of an awareness, a wake-up call, signs that had come in from on high, or even maybe something that they witnessed in people around them. This can be people sort of settling down, becoming more serious with different partners, and kind of leaving this person feeling very lonely, almost like all the friends that were kind of just living the good life and out very unattached. These people are starting to partner up, and so it's becoming very lonely. This person's feeling very much like out in the cold, that the time is coming to really put a rest to a particular lifestyle. There's an urge to deliver some kind of communication to you to hopefully evolve beyond this situation, maybe a desire to start small, start as friends, but wanting to really transcend even that level of friendship towards deep partnership. That's something they're wanting to convey or express to you. It is not, although it may start off as something very small, this is not the full range of what they want to experience. They see growth potential with you. And more importantly, they're almost growing into this aspect of self where if they had been fearful of the nature of the love you had to offer, or the prospect of long-term committed partnership that you had expressed that you were looking for, or that you really felt would be kind of the inevitable sort of progression of the situation with them, and then that might have scared them off in the past. This is something where for a lot of you, this individual is starting to prioritize that, longing for that nurturing, that sanctuary, longing for that kind of that essence of forever that you really offered to them, or that they could have seen themselves growing into with you before. They've almost gone out and seen that the grass is not greener on the other side. Again, kind of coming to the end of some kind of stage of wanting to live very, very unattached, maybe as a bachelor or bachelorette. They're longing for this companionship. They're longing for deep and meaningful connection. Surface level connections is just not sustaining them anymore. And they're feeling very burdened, very uncertain, a bit anxious. And there's almost this like a frantic energy here with all of this kind of fiery energy of the 10 of Wands and the 8 of Wands, of wanting to move back in your direction before it's too late, wondering if it's too little too late. Understanding that you must start small, you must start from scratch, you must start somewhere. But what they're envisioning with you is something more in a long term. This is someone who's entering into the state of readiness to explore more fully and in a more long-term manner, the potential and possibility of the love that you have to offer and what that can grow into in a long-term sense. Wanting to discontinue the single life, or kind of investing in more frivolous or surface level connections. They're wanting a deep and meaningful partnership. And when they think about all the people maybe that they've experienced in the past, or people in their present reality, their mind keeps coming back to you in many different ways as the person that they can see building something long-term and stable on into the future. So I'm going to take a look now at the channeled love letter from your person's higher self, and let's see, what do they want to tell you right now, group 3. You are the one. I am certain of that now. I have watched you unfold from afar, silently keeping vigil through the long dark night. Now it is I who am in need of your watchful eye, while I slip into a state of vulnerability, and the tether between my body and my becoming is stretched. I feel your heart bloom, and it is a thing of wonder to know that our connection still has such a profound effect on you, even after all this time. I am mimicking the process of surrender, following your lead, and I feel clumsy. I want to be a safe space for you once again, so I am busying myself with the mechanism of evaluation and release. There is a seemingly never-ending wall of corrosion that I am trying to scrape away at, while still maintaining a foothold in my present reality. You make walking between the worlds look so easy, and I know you have not reached this stratosphere without your fair share of growing pains, and then some. A new season approaches, and I know you feel you have heard this all somewhere before. Please keep pressing forth into your beautiful balance of light and shadow. Though I appear miles away, I am closer to meeting you beyond the liminal spaces we are well acquainted with by now than you think. You are love's true reflection, and I don't know why I feigned blindness to this for so long. So I'm going to close this out with some initials, and this can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got D, V, X, M, N, K, R, C, H, A, P, and J. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter group 3. I hope everything resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of, as I said, channeled letters and also written and video readings. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. And I'm running a sale in my Etsy shop now through the end of the month of February. Everything's marked down 15%, so if you've had your eye on anything, now would be a good time to act upon that, as I don't often run sales. I've also launched a second channel here on YouTube. It's called Lady of the Dawn Tarot, and there's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format there is a little different from here. I do pick-a-cards as well as general energy check-ins, but the subject matters that I cover are related to spirituality, ascension, wellness, and self-love. So if any of that sounds interesting, I invite you to check that channel out. I thank you for your support there as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.